Well, I saw it, the notorious SW. So let me plug my channels real quick. Please consider supporting this channel. Please consider looking at my other channels and supporting them as well. And please consider channel memberships on this channel, as well as anything you could donate. Thank you very much. So, yeah, this film has gotten so much attention. And let's be honest, it is mainly from the right wing nutcases who are like, oh no, oh no, they're ruining my classic Disney film. Most of these are grown men, let's be honest, white men. So the white grown men who are like, we're bros, we're super bros. They're like, oh no, they ruined my classic favorite from when I was a kid. Are these Snow White experts? Do they, like me, do they have expertise in mythology and fairy tales? No. No. Do they even really care about the original cartoon that Disney made? No. No. So that's just a lot of fake crying from fake bros. But having seen the film, I can't say it's that good. I probably will put it on the worst films of 2025. However, there are levels of worseness. And let me do even a preface that, no, you need to hate everything. You need to hate it now. It's the most evil. Oh, God. It is, well, it's for a very, very young audience. For a very young, and when I mean young, I mean super young. Like, you can start using basic English words. This is that intended audience for this film. To be fair to the film, because it is being nice, it is very flat. Like, the beginning is very strong, and this is just a coincidence. This is just my perspective, but the film starts to get bad and then really bad with Gal Gadot, because when she makes her entrance, it's fine. Her initial entrance is fine, but I'm not joking. Like 1 or 2 minutes after that, it starts to decline, and I mean decline fast, because when she becomes evil Queenie woman, first of all, the whole thing is not impressive. I'm like, that's it? It was just very, very basic. I'm like, and the people say, oh, they do is hate my Snow White cartoon. There is a lot of homage. Now, I saw the original as a kid. I liked it just fine, but I really don't care about it. I'm going to be brutally honest. I just don't care. It's fine. I can appreciate it, right? As a cinematic historian, as a real cinematic historian, yes, it is necessary to see it and study it, but I really don't care about it. Believe me, I love Disney cartoons, Darkwing Duck, Chip and Dale, DuckTales. There's tons of Disney films I really love. The DuckTales animated movie really is underappreciated. So there's a lot I like about Disney, the Aladdin cartoon, the cartoon series, not the movie. So I have no issue with praising Disney animation when it's well done. And this is a live action translation, so I know my Disney animation. And there are times to do homage, but ironically, one of the problems with this film, it is trying to be too much like the original. So when it tries to move away, it doesn't improve it, and when it tries to mimic the original, it also doesn't do that good a job. So yeah, Gal Gadot's performance is probably one of the weakest parts of this film, and there are a lot of weak parts. And again, another irony: Rachel Zegler. Whatever you think about her, like off-screen persona, you don't like the actress, you don't like who she is. She did a really spectacular job. Her singing, the acting's on point. Again, the script is just very basic. It's just we all know the story. Okay, evil queen takes over. Snow White emerges, and the evil queen looked into the mirror. Who is the fairest of them all? And the mirror says, well, I think it's Snow White. And she's like, no, no. So he has to flee to the dwarves. The dwarves help her, and they rise up together and, fight the evil queenie, and evil queenie go away. So this one's a little different. They kind of had the Game of Thrones subtext. There's a lot of stealing from Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, but it's just not good. So a lot of people are like, Mark, he can. No, he is not a good director. He's a very functional director. Like, one of his better films is Amazing Spider-Man. And I hate Amazing Spider-Man. I think it's super stupid. I'm a hardcore Spider-Man fan. So he's made no good Spider-Man films. But one of his best films, quote, best films, is Amazing Spider-Man. I have to admit, Amazing Spider-Man is one of the most catastrophically stupid things I've ever seen. So comparatively, he can make at least a functional film. This is below functional. Things are just so flat, framing. But some things are well done, like when they're like syncing the sound to Rachel Zegler in her singing voice. okay, that's good. So it's not Madame Web bad. We're like, this is so garbage. It's like even worse than Madame Web. No, no, it is by several degrees much higher costume design, production design, but it is so flat. Like the soldiers, the townsfolk, just the world building is just so flat, and the CGI is mostly terrible. Not just the dwarves, but the animals. It's just the special effects. I mean, like when you see the mirror, and I get it, it is calling back to the original cartoon, but oh my god, it is just jaw-droppingly like this is so. So was it intentionally looking amateurish or juvenile? Is it trying to look like a child? I don't know. It's just very strange how. I get it. It is a childish story. This is a very. I'd be shocked if this is not G-rated because this is so
Mega chest that she
so
plays here that would
so
probably
childish.
give
Probably the
Christopher
original is
Nolan a
much
brain
darker than this, so
hemorrhage.
it's
Well,
very
she
strange
walks
people are
into town
complaining
and
about
then
this because it's
convinces
like
the soldiers to turn
it's
against the
basically
evil
a
queen because
very
she can remember their
boring
names.
story. I mean, that's what I didn't like about the original. The original is just a very flat, stupid story. It's like, okay, evil Queenie fights Snow White. Who cares? Who cares, really? And they've replicated the structure. They've added a few things, and that's what's causing a lot of controversy because this photo of some diverse casting people, apparently a black woman in this film, has created this massive panic, and it's like, she's not a dwarf. So the dwarves apparently were always there, so I don't know. Anyway, so is it a good film? No. I can't say honestly it's a good film, but is it worth paying for? I guess if you have like a young son, a young nephew, or young niece, and I'm talking like super young, maybe like 4, 5, and 6, this is for them. It is so harmless. It's like there's nothing graphic, there's nothing erotic. There is like zero. There's like no tension. There is no point you're ever thinking, "Wow, Snow White's in danger." There is no danger in this. This is just a fluffy fairy tale, but turned up to the maximum, and the direction is just so flat. They're not going to have any nightmares. I think honestly, even if you're like 13 or 14, you're going to be really bored. It is for such a young audience, so maybe some adults will appreciate how safe this is for a young audience. There's something to be said for that because too many films don't allow that, and I appreciate that Disney is allowing this space for very young kids where it's like this is just very fluffy. There's nothing adult, nothing realistic. This is pure childish fantasy, but oh my god, it was so boring and so bland. It only really popped here and there. But again, Rachel is fine. She's fine in the costume. Her singing is pretty great. So on balance, because she really saves the film, I have to give it like a 4 out of 10. It is functionally does work, but I can't go any higher because again, too many bad things. The direction, the script, Gal Gadot's acting is not terrible, but it is very below average. And I get it, the script is not helping her, but and again, this is a where direction really helps. Like Zack Snyder makes her look really powerful, really sexy, very beautiful, tough. In his films, Patty Jenkins did not as good, but she did a good job. It's not the actress. But this is really such a lazy retread. It's like there's nothing much here, and there we are. But I will say a final word with the right wing bros. One of them put out this stupid video, and to be fair, yes, he's a racist, but I think he's play acting as a racist. He says, "I'm not unfair. I like Wicked, and Wicked was not for me. It was very gay and black," and that is true. So apparently, he's a fan of the Wicked. I can recognize a good film. This guy walked out of the film. He literally bragged, saying, "I could not stand it. The trashy and the garbage." Not for me. And I got to be really honest with this guy. This guy's like, I don't know, at least in his late 30s at this point. Um, he's not very intelligent. He's not a good film critic. He's not a good critic of anything. He's just very basic. He did this video on Dune. He couldn't say Dune correctly. So it's ironic. He said, I couldn't stand it. I don't understand. I'm not even being like exaggerating. I think it's like, well, no, this film is for you because it's at your brain level. Because it seems like he does have the intelligence of a 6-year-old. I'm not even like insulting him. He's that stupid. So it's like, no, this is bearable. The film is bearable if you put your in the mindset of, well, okay, this is childish fantasy. He's like, no, I could not stand one more minute, so I had to leave the theater. If you leave the theater, that is fine. You can say, in your opinion, it was that bad. I think you're exaggerating by a lot, frankly. By the way, this guy's a fan of the really bad MCU, like Infinity War and Endgame, which had terrible CGI, terrible story. But he thought that's great. We need to get back to that. So he's not consistent at all. He's an idiot. Is it that terrible? No. But listen, Jeremy, I'm going to call him by his name, Jeremy. If you walk out of the film without seeing the whole film, your movie review is worthless. You cannot say you did a movie review. And like, he's like, I'm not a racist. I recognize Rachel Zegler's a good looking woman. Really? That's your save from the charge of being a racist, sexist, misogynistic piece of garbage? Is that I recognize Rachel Zegler's a good looking woman? That's what your focus was on in this story? I think the whole point of the story is like, yes, it's about love and romance, but it's about we rise up against the evil tyranny and we find hope and optimism with bad cartoon animals. That's the story. But he's like, I'm focused on Gal Gadot is hot, but I don't think she's a good actress. That's his focus. It's like these women were not hot enough. I had to leave the theater. They ruined my Snow White. I'm gonna go back to the original with my hot women's. So, yeah, this whole thing's a mess. It's not that good a film, but it is not the cultural catastrophe they're making out to be. It just is a very disappointing retreading of a classic, but I found the classic pretty stupid too. So there you go. So in some ways, this is actually superior to the original, but I have to give the original more of a recommendation because it has a more consistent look. This is radically inconsistent, and there are some praiseworthy things, but it's also very, very terrible in its own way.